So we're going to do kind of a little technical video, might be a little long, on how to convert a Chevy old body style diesel to a LS based gasoline engine. I don't even know where to begin. It's not really that complicated. This truck originally had a 4L80E transmission behind the 6.5. I retained that transmission and the torque converter, which online stated they were the same as the 454, so I decided to use it. I haven't tested it yet much, only ran it through up to 4th gear and made sure that the torque converter was locking up and everything, but it still needs exhaust work done on it. It's still open header, so I can't drive it much. Anyways, first thing you're going to need is a set of adapter mounts. You can't really see them. I've got a set of sliding Dirty Dingo slider mounts down there on the factory rubber engine mounts that were in there. They're for the old body style 2-wheel drive truck, nothing special. The exhaust manifolds I'm using are just some cheap eBay cast iron LS swap manifolds. They seem to work on almost every single swap I've run into. They're real tight to the motor and they drop down really quick. The harness I'm using is just a standalone, nothing integrated into the truck or anything. I just took the old harness apart and found the power wires and all the wires that run all the gauges and tapped into them. I can't do a real walkthrough on that. You can also run all the wires through the dash or through the firewall up to the cluster, cut them and splice them right into the gauges. The belt drive is all factory for now. I've got a PTO that'll be going here, and then that's what that extra idler for is there. I'm going to run the belt there and then up over the PTO. I'm just waiting for the clutch to come. I decided to keep a mechanical fan because of the electric loads on this truck. Didn't want to put an extra load on it with electric fans. So what I went with is a Duramax fan with a 454 fan clutch, and then a Jegs or whatever LS to small block adapter right there, and then just a standard small block 2.5-inch spacer, and it puts it exactly where it needs to be inside the shroud. I have a technical video on that on my channel if you want to know exactly how to do that. The upper radiator hose and lower radiator hose are factory Chevrolet Silverado 2007 and up, or Tahoe, whatever hoses. They all mount perfectly to the radiator and to the pump. My pump is the one where the neck comes straight up, like out of the 07 and up Tahoes. Now this radiator, I changed to a 454 radiator instead of the 6.5 because the 6.5 has really big, they have like 2.5-inch hose inlet and outlets on them, and then I'd have to do custom hoses and everything. So I swapped that out to the 454, and they're the same size as the LS, so everything mounts. It also has provisions for, you know, steam vent. You got to make your own little adapters, figure out a way to get it into that fitting port right there, and then you can run your steam vent hose. I retained the factory overflow, but that's a pressure tank. So if you're going to use this system with this style of radiator, you got to take apart the cap so it doesn't hold pressure down here. It needs to be able to vent itself in and out over here if it overflowed. And so that way you can use the standard right here, the standard overflow relief and that'll be used instead of a pressure tank. It'll just be used as a standard overflow tank. Factory cooling or air box with a 90 on it with some Home Depot special 3-inch black PVC piping. These are just couplers. It brings that 3.5 up to 4-inch, so these go on here nice. And then another 90 right there. Mass airflow sensor. Another look maybe at the headers. Maybe I can get down to the mounts. Not really. The air conditioning system will be hooked up eventually too. I'll run a passenger side bracket for the AC. And then I'll custom build the hoses. Let's see what else I can. The swap's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. Everything's off the shelf. Nothing's fabricated unless you got to do fabrication brackets for PTOs or whatever. Trying to think. I don't think there's anything else.